make sure that the speaker's on.
You're like better now?
Yeah, kind of. At least I can move around, which is something that I really like being able to do. I'm not seeing my microphone. Not even messing with it. Okay. All right, you guys, has everybody got a number line put together?
Yeah.
Okay, and we know zero's down here. And let's see, I need to be able to go out to 5. Okay. So if I put a number on a number line, I put a dot, and I say that's number 5. I've got to do 1. I've got to be able to do 2. Number line 3. And 4. Now, if you notice, the dots tell me that that number is graphed on the line. Okay? If I throw something here and said, put a half there, okay, that's just a number, but I didn't number it on the number line. You understand what I'm saying? The dot signifies that I'm graphing the 0, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Okay? Because that's what it asked me to do. Now, what if I wanted to graph 3.5? Can I put 3.5 on this number line?
Yes.
Where would it be?
In between it.
Where's it going to be?
In between 3 and 4.
So I could go back in here and he says in between, I could put something like this and I could say, well, this is 3.5, right? And that would be okay. All right? But notice, the circle is what tells me that is graphed. This 1/2 is not graphed. It's just happened to be showing there. But it's not been graphed. Okay? And that's something I think that is important because that's a problem that we tend to have. These are all what kind of numbers? You know what these types of numbers are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What kind of numbers are those?
Whole numbers.
They're whole numbers. They're also known as counting numbers or natural numbers. Okay? And that's just kind of a review. When you started counting, and you have no idea, but you were probably, by the time you were 3 weeks old, somebody was teaching you counting. Because they were counting your fingers. Or they were counting your toes, and they were doing it out loud. Now, the first ones that you might remember is 1 little piggy, 2 little piggies. You ever see anybody do that with the kids?
Yes.
3 little piggies. Do they ever say, 0 little piggies? No. 0's not a natural number to us. It's not what we call one of our counting numbers. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little piggies. See what I'm saying? Those are what we count with. All right? We're used to that. We see things like this. Has anybody ever seen a thermometer? Okay? And what it wants us to do is write the temperature for each of the thermometers. Write each temperature, then match the temperature with its most appropriate location. Well, somebody tell me, what is the temperature on the thermometer of A? Chloe, what's the temperature on A? You've got it right there in front of you, so you don't have to squeeze your eyes to see this one.
Almost 120, but half of 100.
Well, it's halfway between 100 and 120, so what number is that?
115.
What number is that, Talon?
110.
110. And if you look at that, so I know this one's 110 degrees. If you look at that, another way to see it, Chloe, is each little mark, if I know I'm going from 100 to 120, then I've got to have 20 marks in there. Do you agree? But the thing is, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 gets me to the halfway mark. I can count by 2, so it's skip counted between those hash marks, okay? All right, so what about B? What is the temperature on the thermometer of B? What's it going to be, Tyler?
40 degrees.
40 degrees, good. What about C? What is the temperature of C? Josie? 80 degrees. And one more, D is what temperature, Kaylee?
5 degrees Fahrenheit.
5 degrees, good. And she adds the Fahrenheit. Now it says match those temperatures with their, oh, why did, okay, somebody raise your hand. Jaslyn, why do you say it's 10?
Because if you're counting by 2 by each mark, then it'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It wouldn't be 5.
Yeah, also it's halfway between 0 and 20. Good job. So you do have to pay attention to the way that the thermometer is numbered. They're not all not all thermometers or number lines are numbered exactly the same. So you got to pay attention to what those hash marks mean. Okay? Now, what Honolulu, Death Valley, Anchorage, or Seattle, which one do you think would run 110 degrees? Now we're talking Death Valley, California is one of the places up there. Seattle, Washington, Honolulu, I want to go there, okay? Or Anchorage, Alaska. Which one do you think, Roper?
Death Valley.
Death Valley. Why do you think that? It's a desert. Very good. Okay? Whose temperature do you think would be running 40 degrees? I've got 40, 80, and 10. Whose temperature is 40, do you think? Probably Seattle, Washington. Okay? Maybe in the wintertime there. Okay? Whose temperature is 80 degrees? 80 degrees. Jordan, what do you think? Hawaii. Yeah, let's go to Hawaii. And so that means Alaska's temperature, 10 degrees. Do you think that's as cold as it gets in Alaska?
No.
No.
That's summertime.
That might be summertime. I agree. Jaslyn?
Do you have a pencil sharpener?
Pardon?
Do you have a pencil sharpener?
Right there. Okay. Now, going back to that temperature. What is the temperature that is showing on the thermometer? Now, work with a partner. The thermometer shows the coldest temperature ever recorded in Seattle, Washington. What temperature is that? What temperature is the coldest temperature ever recorded in Seattle, Washington? Look at the thermometer and tell me what temperature it is. What temperature is it, Braden? 0 degrees. Okay? I agree with you. How do you write temperatures that are colder than 0 degrees, though? How do we write temperatures that are colder? We put a negative symbol. Use the negative. Use the negative symbol. So if I was looking right here at this one right here, that is a negative 20 degrees. What does negative 20 degrees mean? What does negative 20 degrees mean? Yes, it is super cold. What does it mean, Josie?
It's 20 degrees below 0.
20 degrees below 0. 0 is that turning point. At 0, we either go positive or we go negative. Okay? Depending on what we're looking for. We talk about, today we're going to be ordering integers. Well, first of all, you have to know what integers are. You need to know the definition of integers. Do you know the definition? What is the definition of integers?
Any type of number.
No, sir, not any type.
Oh.
Not any type. Tyler,
Counting numbers.
they are part of it, but not alone. What do you think, Roper?
Negative numbers.
Yeah, they could be negative numbers.
Whole numbers are opposites.
Whole numbers their opposites and 0. Okay, so technically, yes, it is your counting numbers, but then it's also the opposite of the counting numbers. Okay, so 1, the opposite of 1 is 5, the opposite of 5 is negative 10, the opposite of that is
10.
Do you notice, what about negative 20? What's its opposite? What was that, sir? 20. If I have 25, what's the opposite? If I have negative 62, what is its opposite?
62.
Are the opposite numbers always negative? No, it depends on what you've been given. Okay? So that's why we call it this symbol, we call it the negative symbol, but this technically, this symbol right here says the opposite. The opposite of 20 is, as we say it, negative 20. Okay? The opposite of 20 is negative 20. But the opposite of negative 5 is 5. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I wrote, and this is not on your paperwork, but if I wrote this, what number should I write to give the answer to this statement? What does the little dash say? The opposite of negative 6, or the opposite of 6. The opposite of negative 6 is, Josie, 6. Okay? Being able to read that symbol. Math is always lots of symbols. You got to understand the symbol. Okay? A football team gained 57 yards in one play. What integer will you write to represent the yards gained? 57. He said positive 57. If I want to, I could put a plus there, couldn't I? Do you normally see the plus in front of it? No. Why not? Why not, Roper? Because if there is no plus in front of it, it is understood to be a positive number. It's understood just to be a normal counting number at that point. The only time we ever signify it being different is if it is the opposite of a counting number, which is what we call our negative numbers. Okay? So no, you don't have to put the plus sign in front of 57. You can write it just like that. Okay? The shores of the Dead Sea are 420 meters below sea level, the lowest dry land point on Earth. How do I write 420 meters below sea level? How am I going to write that, Monique? Oh, we'll take care of a number line in a minute. How do I write the number 420 degrees below sea level? Any idea? Okay. If you would do me a favor and get your pencil, take notes. Ben, what do I write? Negative 420. Good. Good. Sea level is the same thing as our 0. Sea level is that 0 point. You're either above sea level or you're below sea level. Okay? Number lines can go up and down. And so that right there would be my sea level. Okay? And if I wanted to put a negative 400, or I wanted to write 420 meters below sea level, where should I put it?
Well, I had a question.
Okay.
So you said that number lines can go up and down. So would that mean that the thermometer would be a number line too?
Yes, a thermometer is a number line. Good. A thermometer is definitely a number line. Uh-huh. Okay, so where am I going to put 420 meters below sea level? Talon?
Below sea level.
Get over here, please, sir. Put it on my whiteboard for me, will you? Okay, write the number there. There you go. Thank you, sir. It is kind of hard to write on that. Is he correct? Would it be down there? Now I could put more detail in my number line, but that's good enough, isn't it? I know it's below sea level. Okay, and if I was talking about the football field, and here's what I'm going to be looking for in most number lines. Okay, I want to know where is 0, and in this case, I'm going to put my 57 over here. Okay, because now I have it numbered on the number line. Do you agree? And I probably, even on this one, we should put a dot right there because we just put that on the number line. Okay? So you know what I'm going to expect on your number lines. Does everybody have this drawn on? Because I'm moving on. I'm not going to wait. Okay? We're going to integers. We said integers, the set of whole numbers and their opposite. And that is true. Mrs. Rakestraw made a mistake a little bit ago. 0 is never, ever positive or negative. Never. Which really makes it... Hang on, I'm looking at something. I know 0 is there. Okay? 0 is never, ever positive or negative, okay? Now, if you notice on the number line, look at the number 4. Number 4, if we were taking steps like on our number line on the floor, how many steps would I have to take from 0 to get to number 4? I'd take 4 steps. How many steps do I take from 0 to get to the opposite of that? -4. I still take 4 steps though, right? Either way, so its distance from 0, is it the same?
Yes.
Yeah, if I fold that number line in half, they're going to lay on top of each other. Yes, ma'am?
If you like only have negative numbers on the number line, like the larger negative numbers are actually welcome. Like you put backwards because the numbers are.
You're right. Good observation. On our number line, when we go from 0 out in our normal, what happens to those numbers? They get bigger, don't they? They're worth more. If I had $5, it would be more than having $1. Do you agree?
Yes.
Now, everything works opposite when you're dealing with the negative numbers, the negative integers. If I am short $1, or I'm short $5. So if I'm negative $1 in the hole or negative $5 in the hole, where is which one of those is a bigger loss? Yeah, I have way less. I have even less than what I thought I had. Am I right? So it's like when you think about the ground level, and how many of you have ever flown? Anybody ever fly? Have you ever noticed that the higher you get, which is your positive numbers, and you look back, what happens to the things on the ground? They keep getting smaller and smaller. The farther out you go in the opposite direction on the number line, the smaller that measurement is. Okay? The smaller that number is. That's something, just a good thing to know. Okay? All right. Write a positive or negative integer that represents the situation. Go to the board. Do A. Everybody do A on your paper. Everybody do A on the paper. Right there. I want it done. You do it. A contestant gains 250 points on a game show. Write the integer that represents that. Okay? B. Mr. Chance, will you pick somebody? Gasoline freezes at 40 degrees below 0. Write that integer on the whiteboard and on your paper. 40 degrees below 0. Please write that one. feels like it's starting to get 40 degrees below zero in here. We'll turn it off. My nose is getting up.
We were writing for like some of the IDs.
Okay.
I decided it was a good idea to start talking on it and I felt good.
Probably not a good idea. I'm gonna stick with math though, Talon. I wanna stay focused on what we're supposed to be doing. Something's wrong with my degree symbol. I'm gonna put it over here, okay? Yeah, I need you to pick somebody, Josie.
Jaden.
Okay, guys, everybody should be doing the next. A hiker climbs 900 feet up the mountain. Josie's gonna do one, and then she's gonna pick somebody to do the next one. Yeah, Jaden, sorry, Jaden.
Okay.
What? Okay, pick somebody else, ma'am. 2, you have a debt of $25. The word debt means that you owe somebody $24. Okay, a debt of 24 is what type of a number, Chloe? Negative. Okay, now, the only thing I see, and maybe it's because it's the whiteboard, Chloe, it looks like you're giving me a space. Okay, and you kind of got to be careful about that, okay? This is negative. So that number needs to go, up a little bit higher than the ground level, okay? All right, pick somebody, ma'am. Jaslyn. A student loses 5 points for being late to class. Write the positive or negative integer. Nice job. Nice job. Pick somebody that hasn't been up. A savings account earns $10. Gonna earn $10 today. That would be nice. Nice. Pick somebody for the next one. Hasn't been up. Okay, whoa. Graph each integer and its opposite. Graph the integer and its opposite. There you go. What else you gotta do to make sure they're graphed? There you go. There we go. She now has it graphed appropriately, because before those dots were put there, it looked like 0 was, I couldn't tell who was being graphed. Okay? All right, pick somebody, please. Gonna graph -2 and its opposite. All right, thank you. Pick somebody else. Is she correct?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got 2 and -2. Good. Uh-oh. You deliver flowers to an office building. You enter at ground level and go down 2 floors to make the first delivery. Then you go up to 7 floors to make the second delivery. Write an integer that represents each position.
Can I graph it?
Nope, just write it. You go down 2 floors, good, and then you go up 7 floors. Nice job. He said, can I do a number line? He didn't do a number line, but he thought it in his head, didn't he? He is absolutely correct. Let me see that, bud. Hang on a second. Right, yeah, I'll choose somebody. We'll talk about A here in just a second.
Miss Rich,
Yes?
you could put like a 7 in front of the 2, and 7 minus 2 equals 5. That's what I always did on mine, so.
When are we doing our next switch?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, okay.
an integer that represents how you return to ground level. How do you get back to the ground? Okay. You actually started, you went to the down 2 floors, and then you went up 7, so you had to go drop stuff off on the 5th floor. So how am I going to get back down to the ground level? Aha! Go ahead, bud. Fix it. Nice job. I'll take it. All right. Here's what we have. He said, can I do a number line? That's fine. And plus, with that being said, let me show you something. Over here in my nice little manipulative drawers, both of you get one. I need to get some more out. Hand those back behind you, please. 2, 4, I need 6 more. Now, these are handy dandy little number lines, okay? So, with this number line you have in your hand, 0 is ground level, and it said to go down 2 floors. So if you go down 2 floors from 0, if 0 is here, okay, I go down 2 floors to start out with, I'm at -2. Do you agree?
Yep.
And then I got to go up 7. So if you count each floor up 7, Monique, I'd like for you to be doing it too, babe. Okay? Count up 7, and what integer are you at? You're at 5. Okay? Then it says, so that's where our -2 and our 5 come from. Then it says, write an integer to represent the ground level. I got to get back down to ground. So now I'm going to go down 5. Go in the opposite direction. Okay? These are over there, and you can use them anytime as we're learning how to do the integers. These are a really nice tool. Yes, sir.
Why on some of them, why on the, when they go down by 5s, why are they red?
I don't know. Just 2 different styles, 2 or 3 different styles. So, graph the integer and its opposites. Okay? I'm thinking I want you guys to give me one number line. I can do that, right? Now, in the negative direction, how far out do I have to get?
12.
Or in the positive, right? So if I go I got the number line up there. Now then, somebody that hasn't been up. Somebody that hasn't been to the board. Cole, come on. I want you to do number 5 up there. So you have 6 and what else? Graph them. So you got to find, let me put the 0. What if I go here and I say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And I say -2, -4, -6, -8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, -12. All right. Now, you have to graph that it's talking about on number 5. I did the number line. It's all numbered. You graph what's up there. And we'll even show our graphs a different color. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. All right. So, what are you graphing, Cole?
6.
Okay, so graph it.
Circle.
Put a dot where? There we go. So I've got 6. And what's its opposite, sir? Nice job. Pick somebody that has not been to the board. Quickly. guessing you're going to the board. You have to do -4, Roper, and its opposite. Come on, quickly, guys. The more we get done, the quicker you can get to your assignment. And its opposite, sir. All right. Pick somebody that's not been to the board. I want -12 and its opposite. Somebody that's not been to the board. Who has not been to the board yet? And I'm thinking. 1 and its opposite. Okay, whoa, I think I can fix it by telling it to undo it. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you can't touch the board with any other portion of your body. Okay? Okay, does that get them all? Do you see how it works? Before I just had a number line there. Until I placed the dots on that number line, nothing was graphed. Okay? So I'm doing this to help you understand what is expected. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
So like imagine how much it would like suck if you had to do that for your job and you didn't graph it and it costs money and then you just threw your entire paycheck down the drain because you thought you graphed it but you didn't.
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, it would be. All right, questions on how to graph? Questions on what are integers? What are integers? Jaden, what are integers?
They are numbers that are like negative and positive.
Okay. By definition, I want you to get the definition in your mind. What are integers?
The whole numbers and their opposites.
Whole numbers, their opposites, and 0. Is 0 positive or negative?
No.
Never. It's neither. It's always neither. There is your assignment.